I've helped a lot of people relocate to Northwest Arkansas, and almost every single one of them got at least one of these 5 things wrong before they came here. Not because they didn't do their research, most of them did. They watched videos, ran the numbers, visited the area, but there are 5 specific things that keep coming up over and over that people just don't see coming. Some of them cost people money, some of them cost people time, and a couple of them almost derailed moves that should have been really smooth. If you're thinking about moving here, whether that's in 6 months or 2 years, this video might be the most important one you watch. I'm Eric Eby. I'm an executive broker with Colliers Associates here in Fayetteville, and I've been specializing in relocation for over a decade. The Naturally NWA Home Team works with buyers from all over the country, from California to Colorado to Texas and even the Pacific Northwest. And I've watched this process play out hundreds of times. What I'm sharing today isn't a list of things I read somewhere. These are real patterns from real clients. Things I've watched people run into that I wish I could have caught earlier. Here are the 5 things that they got wrong. Almost every out-of-state buyer I talk to says the same thing early on. I already have a lender, I'm just going to use my bank. I get it, it feels safe. You've had an account there for 15 years, they know your name, and it seems like the obvious move. But here's the problem. A bank in California or Colorado that doesn't do a lot of business in Arkansas may not understand the local market, know a local appraisers, or understand local timelines. In a competitive situation, which NWA still has in the right price ranges, a listing agent here is going to look at an out-of-state pre-approval letter from a bank nobody's heard of and feel less confident than they would with a local lender that they've worked with before. I've seen deals get shaky not because the buyer wasn't qualified, but because the lender wasn't familiar with how things work here. You don't have to use whoever I recommend, but get a local pre-approval. Even if you end up going with your own bank, having that local letter in your back pocket changes how your offer looks. That one surprises a lot of people, but this next one, this is the one that hits the hardest. It's also very common for these buyers to tell me that they've been approved with some big online lender like Quicken or Rocket Mortgage. These lenders advertise low rates, but when you look at the numbers, the cost of the loan were astronomical compared to what local lenders can offer. These are the worst lenders you can use in my experience, not just because they're based in another state, but because they're also so large that you end up being just a number to them and the communication is often horrible. I had a deal early on in my career when the buyer wanted to use Quicken Loans and the loan officer did not communicate for the first 3 weeks of being under contract. And when they finally responded to what seemed like 1,000 emails and phone calls, they told us the loan had been denied. Something they should have communicated with us within the first 10 days. Thankfully, one of my local lenders was able to come in and save the deal for us. The second mistake I get calls every month from people who want a home with a few acres in a good area for under $300,000. And I have to have a conversation with them that I wish I didn't have to have. That Northwest Arkansas does not exist anymore. Home values here have increased over 70% since 2019. That's not a typo, 70%. That outpaces cities people think of as expensive, like Austin, Texas, which came in at 46% increase. Durham, North Carolina was around 58%. Northwest Arkansas beat them both. The people who are working off the NWA they heard about from a cousin who moved here in 2019 or 2020 are in for a real surprise. The affordability story is still true compared to major metros, but the picture has changed significantly. What $300,000 actually buys you right now is a solid starter home. No land, probably 3-bed, 2 bathrooms in a neighborhood. That might be totally fine for your situation, but if you're picturing a few acres and some space, you're probably looking at the $400,000 to $600,000 range to find what you're after. Getting clear on your real budget and what that budget actually gets you here is the single most important thing you can do before your search gets serious. Okay. Those 2 are the ones that cost people the most, but this next one is actually good news, and it's one of the biggest surprises people have after they get here. People moving from California, Colorado, or really any high regulation state show up expecting the home buying process to be very complicated. They've dealt with layers of red tape, mandatory disclosures for everything, attorney reviews, buyer's remorse periods, and legal involvement at every step. Arkansas is not that. The process here is genuinely more straightforward. Things move faster, there's less friction, and people are easier to work with. I've had clients close on a home here and literally say, wait, that's it? Now that's a good thing, and I want you to experience it. But the mistake is assuming that because it's easier, you can be less prepared. You still need your finances in order, your documentation ready, and a clear sense of what you're looking for before you start. The smoother process rewards people who come in prepared. It can move fast and you want to be ready to move with it. Okay, the last two are specifically for people who are making a bigger life change alongside the move, and they catch people completely off guard. A lot of people relocating to Northwest Arkansas are also changing careers. They're leaving a job in one state and starting something new here. A new company, a new industry, or going out on their own. Here's what they don't know. If you're switching careers, most lenders are going to want to see 6 months of income history in your new role before they'll approve you for a mortgage. That means if you start a new job in April and try to buy a house in May, you're probably going to hit a wall. I've watched this scenario create real stress for people who had a move perfectly planned. Their timeline, their school enrollment, their lease ending, all of it lined up around a closing date that the lender couldn't honor yet. The fix is simple, but you have to know it in advance. Plan your mortgage timeline around your employment start date, not your move date. And talk to a lender early before you're under contract so there are no surprises. Okay, this last one is specifically for people who are retiring and relocating at the same time, which is actually very common here. Northwest Arkansas is drawing a lot of people in their 50s and 60s who are done with California or Colorado and ready for a different pace of life. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Having retirement savings doesn't mean you can get a mortgage. What a lender needs to see is retirement income, meaning distributions that have already started. If you're about to retire but haven't started drawing from your 401k or pension or Social Security yet, a lender may not be able to qualify you based on what's sitting in those accounts. They need to see that income flowing. I've had clients with significant assets who couldn't close on a home when they wanted to simply because the retirement income paperwork wasn't in order yet. If you're in this situation, start the retirement income distribution process before you start your home search. Get that documentation established. It's not complicated, it's just timing. And knowing about it ahead of time is everything. Every one of these 5 things has a fix, and most of the time the fix is just knowing about it before it becomes a problem. If you're getting serious about a move to Northwest Arkansas, I've put together a step-by-step relocation guide that walks through exactly how the process works here, from picking the right area to navigating the mortgage process as an out-of-state buyer. It's free, the link is in the description, and it's specifically built for people coming from out of state. You don't have to work with me to use it. It's just there because these conversations happen too late. So to recap, the 5 things people most often get wrong before locating to Northwest Arkansas is number 1, using their out-of-state bank or an online lender instead of a local lender. Number 2, working off of 2019 price expectations. The market has moved significantly. Number 3, expecting a complicated buying process. It's actually easier here, but preparation still matters. Number 4, not accounting for the 6-month income requirement when changing careers. And number 5, trying to get a mortgage before retirement income distributions have started. Northwest Arkansas is genuinely one of the best places to live in the country right now. The move should feel confident, not chaotic. If this video helped, please subscribe. This is exactly the kind of honest, real-world content I put out every week. If you have any questions about relocating to Northwest Arkansas, my contact information is below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.